Ashley Roque, Pentagon reporter with Breaking Defense.
And I'm Valerie Insinna. I'm the congressional and industry reporter.
We're here today in Simi Valley, California for the annual Reagan Defense Forum. Little chilly out, but we've been here all day reporting.
Our headliners today were Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth and Dan Caine, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Ashley, what did we learn?
Okay, so let's just back up a couple of days till Thursday. Late Thursday evening, Eastern time, the national security strategy dropped. And we've all been expecting sort of like a pivot to the Western Hemisphere, focus on homeland, and that sort of solidified that. It didn't lay out like broader military guidance that will come later in the national defense strategy, but sort of solidified Western Hemisphere is the priority. It also sort of slighted Europe and NATO, called for an acceptance that NATO expansion shouldn't continue. So as you could expect, with all lawmakers, defense officials, and industry here, that was one of the hot topics this weekend. So when the Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth sort of graced the stage for the first time, he sort of laid out that yes, we are doing a pivot to the Western Pacific. What that means, still to come, and also called for allies and partners to sort of step up both in Europe and in the Indo-Pacific. When General Caine took the stage just shortly thereafter, he also acknowledged that yes, Western Pacific, this is more than just like a pipe dream, this is happening. What that means military-wise, still to be decided, but potentially it could mean more combat power within the region. But those two headliners weren't all. Today, Val, you've been running around all day talking to lawmakers, and I hear there's some maybe potential movement on reconciliation from the OMB Director?
Yep, so the OMB Director, Russ Vought, he was a keynote speaker for the first time ever. First time an OMB Director has been here at Reagan. His message to industry and to all of the people here was, defense is important and we're going to put the resources that it needs behind it.
Making sure that we can actually put the amount of resources that's necessary to actually get things built. Send that clear message that from a resource perspective, the resources will be there.
However, he also said reconciliation really worked. It's a way for us to get our priorities in the Trump administration across the line without having to rely on pesky Democrat votes to do it. And while it's not decided that they're going to do a second bill, he did leave it on the table. So that was one big thing.
NDAA, we've all been waiting all weekend. We didn't know if it was going to drop today or if it's going to drop later on. What are you hearing on NDAA based on who you've talked to today?
Well, I talked to the top Democrat on the House Armed Services Committee, Representative Adam Smith. He says that he thinks it's going to drop within 24 hours. That's what he said this morning, at least. Can you say anything about where that top line is going to hit?
No, we're making a lot of progress. I think we've come pretty close. We got like 3 or 4 issues that how they intermix to make sure that we have the votes in the House and the Senate. We're trying to finalize that in the next 24 hours.
So Sunday sometime.
Sunday sometime. Okay. It looks like things are moving forward, just a couple key issues to resolve. And what he said about the top line is that it's going to look probably about $8 billion above the president's request. That's kind of a compromise between what the House did, which was completely hew to the president's budget request, and the Senate, which added several dozen billion more to the president's budget request.
Okay. Lot to digest there, a lot more. We still have more reporting to do today and throughout the weekend. Thanks for tuning in. Please check out our website for more information and the latest stories.